Greetings from the New Caledonia herbarium. I'm just kind of lurking here. Smells amazing. You can see they got everything organized. They got the mosses, the mossy mosses. They got the gymnosperms over there. They got angiosperms with the monocots first, and then you got the dicots over here. Got to do some research, okay? Turns out one of the plants I want to go see here is going to be a little trickier to get to. Complicated by the fact that it's the middle of summer. There's not much water. It's an extremely dry year here in New Caledonia. Not sure if that's got something to do with the same oceanic currents, ocean currents, and other mechanisms that are causing the Australian drought. But either way, it is unseasonably dry. So these, oh look, they got a Pycnandra. The plant that bleeds nickel. It's one of the infamous hyperaccumulators of New Caledonian ultramafics. Anyway, it is unseasonably dry, and water is in short supply. You know, many of the creeks and other stuff that would be flowing at higher elevations have tended to be dry. After our attempted march up, a death march up Mount Humboldt, we really realized it's one, it's not the season to be doing this, but two, it's also not the year. It's a very, very dry year here, and there's just not enough water. So even if you bring a filter, you know, at the higher elevations, just a lot of those creeks aren't running. It just runs right off. Nice, beautiful Psychotria illustration right there. It's really a stunner. Anyway, you know, you got to come to the herbarium sometimes. It's just the way it goes. There's a lot of good stuff here. It smells absolutely wonderful. Kind of smells like a mixture of an old comic book store and well, dried plant material, which I guess is what it is. Maybe they got some silica packets here too. I don't know. Do you ever eat those? Do you ever eat them when they come with the nori? You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, I got to do some research. We're going to figure out what we're looking at. Got some nice specimens of Parasitaxus, which is an incredible plant. Hopefully I'm going to be able to show it to you later. Okay? World's only parasitic conifer, parasitic on Falcatifolium taxoides. So, we'll take a couple looks here. Got to be gentle. Some of these collections are extremely old. Again, this plant that produces no chlorophyll, and it's believed that there's a mycorrhizal affiliate involved in this parasitism too. That there's got to be some hot microbial action going on in the soil as well. That it's not as simple as just attach those hostorial roots into that Falcatifolium. Both plants are in the Podocarpaceae. Anyway, enough rambling for me. What the fuck is that? Enough rambling for me. I gotta get to the work. Let's cut to the chase. Okay, back in the hot, humid tropical lowlands of southern province, the province sud of New Caledonia. As you can see, the forest is relatively impenetrable. It's hot and humid as balls, and I am sweating my ass off. But the plants are so nice, it don't really matter. Let's start off looking at this guy. See those strap-shaped leaves? This is a species of Lomandra. Seen a species in the same genus down there in Western Australia. A real nice one. This one's Lomandra insularis. You can see it's got kind of a coalescent thing, and too bad this one's not flowering, because when they are, they're looking real nice. Again, all these leaves got that little indumentum, that little fuzz, that velvet on the bottom. I want to show you this guy, which is a real banger down there. Now, this one, Nepenthes viardii, is New Caledonia's only species of Nepenthes, of pitcher plant. Now, remember, pitcher plant is a polyphyletic term. It refers to quite a few completely unrelated plants. But these are the ones that get, you know, shown off in the conservatories back in the States and whatnot. You know, they got them all over the place, dangling and whatever the shit. You got a bunch in Borneo. They tend to be rather tropical. You got some in northeastern Australia over there, too, I think in Queensland and what the shit. Anyway, this is Nepenthes viardii. You can see that beautiful red color on that picture right there. Let's see if we can get up and look at his peristome. You know, just give him a little, I hope not to be too obscene. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You got a nice lid. Where's the peristome? Now, the peristome is just a fancy word for that little ring that, you know, completely encircles that opening. It's what helps trap the bugs. You can see he's just hanging out. They got some nice fringe, you know, like he's living in the 80s, you know, hanging out in like an old heavy metal bar, doing blow in the bathroom. Never mind. Listen, I don't even know why I think about that. Just thinking about that makes me want to puke. But he does. He's got some nice fringe on there. Beautiful color. You know, and these are variable. This guy's growing in the shade. There's the leaves right there for what they're worth. This guy's growing in the shade. I've seen them, you know, if they're kind of stressed, the pictures don't get too big, only an inch or two. This guy is, I mean, you could see he's at least 6 or 7 inches right there. Anyway, moving right along and sweating our asses off. Here we go. Oh, look at those leaves. That's pretty nice, huh? Real smooth and velvety. You know, smooth like listening to a Leon Bridges song. Anyway, another member of the family, Sapitaceae. You can tell it's got those axile flowers and whatnot, you know. Just coming right off that main axis, that stem. And everything's fuzzy. You got the rusty fuzz on everything. You know, rusty fuzz sounds like it'd be some sort of deranged porn name, but in this case, you know, it's just a convergent trait among many unrelated plants out here. Okay, there you go. There's the fertile fronds of a Blechnum species. You can see the sorry in there. They're still ready to do their thing and drop spores. Almost kind of looks like a dyed noodle. Very beautiful. Here's the sterile fronds. Okay, now this guy seems to be quite common throughout the South Pacific. This is Wickstromia indica, another member of the Thymoleaceae. You know, that family, or that genus Pimolea is in this. Seen some other real nice ones in the same family. Thymoleaceae is predominantly southern hemisphere, I think. You know, I mean, he's not showing off for nothing. You know, he's not showboating, but he looks pretty good. The glabrous leaves. You know, I'm sweating my ass off. You can see there's just nepenthes just hanging out. You know, just hanging out on the ground. You know? You know, like a panhandler in San Francisco just hanging out on the sidewalk, you know? Just make yourself right at home. He's fine. Anyway, you could see, oh, he's got a nice peristome. Lots of variation in these. See that green? Does he got any guys in there? You got any guys in there? Sorry, I hope that's not too invasive over there. I got the nice fringe. Remember, cocaine bar from the 80s. What am I talking about anymore? I don't know. But I do want to note, and I'm thankful for this fact, the lack of mosquito. Oh, there's a nice one. The strong lack of mosquitoes here. I am not getting hassled at all, probably because there's nothing for them to feed on. You know, I mean, the only mammals here prior to human beings arriving 3,000 years ago, the only mammals here are flying foxes. And then, of course, the Melanesians brought feral pigs, and I think they brought some deer and rats and other shit, which are slowly, you know, hitting the ecosystem pretty hard. Or not so slowly in some cases. But, yeah, the lack of mosquitoes. So maybe there weren't even mosquitoes here, because there's nothing here for them to really feed on except for birds and bats, but they're here now. So they got brought with the people, and I probably got dengue, you know. Maybe that's what is causing my stomach upset. Either that or that extremely overpriced pizza I had last night. Still better than California pizza, though. Holy shit. Hard to get good pizza in California. Okay, let's keep moving. Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, there's a Styphilia, one of the tropical blueberries with that flush of new bright red foliage. Just like many of our Ericaceae, that is the blueberry family, do in the northern hemisphere. They're quite distinct, quite beautiful. You can see what's noticeable about many of the ericoids down here is they got those nice bracts. See those bracts right there? Looking like a little pine cone. Imbricate bracts, or, you know, one of those mutaceoid sunflower involucres. Well, here's a real narrow one. Beautiful. Fruits are, the flowers are kind of tiny. Axile. Tiny, but still beautiful. Oh, here's a nice one. Pretty waxy, glabrous leaves. Little aggregations of tiny flowers. Multiple stamens poking off right there. You got that little red, I guess that's an attractant. Probably get a little bit of nectar in there. The little red discs surrounding the stigmas. And of course, it's got that fucking weird habit that everything has here, which is, you know, totally, you know, no branches, no foliage on most of the lower trunk, and then just little clusters at the ends. Okay, there you go. This beautiful big bastard right here is common name is Cory, but what that refers to is just basically any tree in the genus Agathis, which again is another one of those dinosaur conifers. You could put that in quotes if you want. You can see up there, I mean, when you get up, it looks like it's got leaves, but when you actually get a chance to look at them, you can see they're very primitive. The vasculature is all parallel, and of course they got cones. So they got naked seeds, they're a gymnosperm, got no flowers, nothing, and just very beautiful bark. Not sure how many species there, I'd have to check. There's probably 8 species in the genus. No, there's one in Australia, there's one in New Zealand, and there's about 5, maybe 5 or 6 on the island of New Caledonia. That bark is just, I mean, it looks like a dinosaur tree. It looks, fucker, looked like it evolved in the Triassic, or I guess it'd be early Jurassic, you know. I don't know, but these things predate the dinosaurs, not this particular species, of course. There's been some modifications over the last 200 million years, but the family itself, the prototype, the model, goes back quite far. Petrified Forest National Park down there in Arizona is same clade, same group of plants, except those are of course permineralized and with silica and what the shit. They got the nice rainbow colors, you know. You ever been down there before? I don't know. Anyway, just a wonderful tree, and they get massive. They get fucking huge. Anyway, there you go, Agathis. Anyway, remember that Agathis I just showed you? Here's the leaves on it. Here's a sapling. Got the branching all in one plane, you know, at the nodes, all in one level. Looks very conifer-ish. Conifer-ish. Anyway, see, you can see the venations all just parallel, and it's pretty waxy. And again, they possess tracheids, which are a notable primitive vasculature among conifers. Boy, the fucking heat is starting to get to me a little bit. I'm starting to slur my speech. Just a beautiful palm hanging out. Stiphelia, little goddamn sedges. Perhaps the Costularia. Okay, let's keep going. Do you like hot, humid tropical forests? Just feels like I just got out of the bath, you know, but with all my clothes on. Like I just relaxed and took a nice warm bath. Pandanaceae. These guys are everywhere. They get kind of big too. They get coalescent. Another family I was unfamiliar with before coming down here. Oh. Anyway, you can see still got that iron-rich soil. It does smell pretty good. And again, I can't complain too much. There's no mosquitoes. Look at this mass. You know, if only I knew my bryophytes better. Rather large, though. And it'd be just growing at the base of a massive tree fern. You know, I almost feel like I'm going, you know, at the Field Museum in their little Paleobotany Evolution of Life exhibit. You gotta go there if you haven't. Too bad it costs a fucking arm and a leg to get in. Maybe you could sneak in somehow. This another Basilinea? I don't know. Anyway, it is hot and humid. We're off that old mining road. Now we're going uphill. Like I said, I am sweating my ass off. Feels like I just got out the bath. But there's something real good up here. I just got a feeling about it. I just got a nice feeling. Oh yeah, okay, so this is pretty nice, you know. About 600 meters elevation. It's roughly 2,000 feet. It's been a long uphill hike. It's kind of sucked, I'm not going to lie. But it's been more than worth it to see this guy. Now the plant I'm about to show you is endemic to New Caledonia. It's an extremely rare plant. And it's got the notoriety of being the world's only parasitic conifer. The world's only parasitic gymnosperm. Okay, that is, most parasites are flowering plants. Okay? But not this guy. This is a member of the Podocarpaceae, a family that goes back to at least the Jurassic. This is Parasitaxus usta. And it looks like he's got full frontal cones right there. Those little berry-looking things, of course, are naked seeds. They're seeds not enclosed in an ovary. And it looks like, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. You know, especially to a loudmouth dago just oogling it in the shady understory of the hot, humid forest. So there you go. Again, completely parasitic, no chlorophyll, can't photosynthesize on its own. You know, unlike some of the hemiparasitic angiosperms, the flowering plants, you know, of course, which they can produce their own chlorophyll, especially in the family Santalaceae. They can do their own photosynthesis, but they're going to steal a little bit from their neighbors. Okay, but hollow parasites absolutely cannot produce any chlorophyll. They don't do any photosynthesizing. Many of them have even lost the genes for it, for the production of chlorophyll. The color on this guy is just incredible. You know, that's what you'd call a banger or a ripper. And here's that, look, it's Pandanaceae over there. How about that? And here's that, here's the guy he's stealing from. Seedlings everywhere. Falcatifolium taxoides, another member of the Podocarpaceae. Like I said, they get rather tall. But this guy, these Parasitaxus, I don't think they top out more than 2 meters. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Little skinks running around everywhere. More Falcatifolium. Okay, now the remarkable thing about this again is that this is a gymnosperm. Okay, it's a conifer. It's not a flowering plant. Okay, and who knows when this plant evolved, if it descended from other parasitic plants or just you know, diverged from a non-parasitic plant and kind of started doing its own thing. Who knows how the relationship evolved between Parasitaxus and Falcatifolium, you know, its obligate host. There's so much mystery, just like you know, everywhere on New Caledonia there's a lot of mystery, you know, let alone why pizzas cost about $25, but let's not get into that. Hope I don't get the runs from that one I had last night. Anyway, botanically, this whole island's full of mystery. You know, why does it have so many relic lineages? They even got a relic lineage of bird, the cagoos, little white bastard. You know, you just see them running around on the ground. I guess they're critically endangered. I think they only got 1,000 of them left or so. Anyway, let's not get too dark. Podocarpaceae, again, is the family, predominantly southern hemisphere. Get a few species above the equator. You know, get a couple in Mexico and Southeast Asia. But predominantly southern hemisphere. And, you know, this guy is just, I don't know, I just can't stop Googling him. Supposedly what I've read, too, is that it's theorized that there might be, you know, a microbial partner that's instrumental in facilitating this relationship between parasite and host. You know, no one's ever grown this thing. I don't know if they've ever tried. I'd assume they have, being it's such a remarkable plant. And again, you only really get it, you know, this little valley I'm in, I think, is the lowest that grows. It's about, you know, it was in the herbarium, saw records from about 400 meters, but most, if not all, are from 600 to 1,000 meters. You know, always in the shady understory. I mean, yeah, it doesn't need to be up top, you know, it doesn't need to be exposed because it can't photosynthesize anyway. Look at how dark that foliage is. Have you had enough? You know, if so, that's too bad, because I'm going to keep going. This is such a remarkable plant. And who knows how old this guy is. I'll give you a nice shot at the bottom of that trunk. The bottom of the stem. And again, you know, I've seen records where it says these can get up to 8 or 9 feet tall, but most of the photographs I've seen, they tend to be relatively diminutive, you know, about this size, maybe a little bit bigger. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Little skinks running around everywhere. More Falcatifolium. Oh yeah, look at the stilt-like roots of this palm. Got a Freycinetti on them, it looks like. So there you go. It's about, I don't know, 3 feet high. And just little seedlings of Falcatifolium. And here's the plant that seems to be parasitizing. You can see it's a rather large, I mean, this is large for a Falcatifolium. We've been seeing them, they're all over, you know, at the higher elevations. But that's the first one I've seen. It's about 6 or 7 inches in diameter. Some of them seem to be experiencing dieback. I don't know what that's from. You can see they get that the red growth on the new growth is red. Quite beautiful. So the obligate host for Parasitaxus. Oh, got a nice Smilax right there. You know, so like many of the podocarps, I'm guessing this guy's bird dispersed with such conspicuous little seeds right there. You know, I always get twisted on what to call podocarpus seeds. You know, are they cones? I mean, technically they're cones. You know, is the colloquial term applies. But they look more like arrows, except an arrow kind of implies the little bait berry. These, not all of them have them. Some of them do. You go to like Dacrycarpus dacrydioides, they got a little bait berry for the birds, you know. And so to get the bait berry, the bird has to consume the seed too. It's like two little balls next to each other. The seeds, you know, the outermost one and then the arrow. But anyway, vernacular aside, what a fantastic plant. Endemic to New Caledonia, extremely rare. And again, notoriety is the world's only parasitic gymnosperm. You know, they got this in botany textbooks the world over. And yeah, it looks to be bird dispersed seed. Anyway, there you go, Parasitaxus usta. Pandanus, almost looking like a cycad. These are weird for a monocot. Oh, look at that. You can just see the roots are covered in an epiphytic orchid. Little tiny epiphytic orchid. Leaf margins are mildly abusive. You can see just serrated enough to be painful. Oh, look at that. It's the microstrobili. What a lewd piece of footage this is going to be. The microstrobili of Agathis. Oh, somebody's leaking a lot of sap right there. It's technically a gymnosperm dong. There you go. Better shot of that Agathis. I guess the Melanesians, this is one of their predominant trees they used to make canoes. Pretty light wood. Easily carved. There's gymnostoma right there. Casterinaceae. And you can see up there, up top, all kinds of araucarias up on that ridge. Probably Muelleri, maybe Rulii, and probably Bernieri, maybe Humboldtensis. Anyway, there you go, Agathis lanceolata. There you go, member of the Pandanaceae. You got this Freycinetia clambering up this tree right there. You familiar with the Pandanaceae? Probably if you live in the southeast United States, you are. A large family. You got a it's very species rich. Oh look, it's one of those fishing spiders. Better large bastard too. Whoa. There he goes. Here we go, yet another member of the Myrtaceae, the myrtle family. Quite diverse, quite species rich down here in the southern hemisphere, especially on the island of New Caledonia. Got your flowers, you know, just dozens of stamens arranged around a central ring. Got some nice imbricate bracts. By imbricate bracts, I mean leaves, excuse me. See, these guys just got pollinated. Post-anthesis flowers, and there you go. There's the fruits right there, little woody capsule. Remember, the myrtle families divided into roughly 2 different subfamilies, some with little berry-like soft fruits, and then some with, there'd be some with the woody fruits, like that. Hey, okay, I made it out the jungle, you know, back to the relatively open, sun-exposed areas. Back on the McKee, the ultramathics. You know, I got some fluids in me, feel a little bit better. Kind of felt like I was going to pass out back there. Was just, you know, basically in the sauna. Anyway, here's the plant I want to show you. You can see it's got a lot of that ultramathic dust on it. But you also flip the undersides over, and it's got that indumentum that's the same color. Now, this is a pretty wonderful species right here. Okay, first became familiar with it about a week ago. It's in Malvaceae. This is Maxwellia lepidota. And this guy's a stunner. Again, it's just, you know, even without the flowers, which are right there, you know, and they are pretty malvaceous looking. Even without those flowers, it's got that nice rusty indumentum like so many of the plants out here. Got pretty broad leaf, waxy green up top. You know, still kind of rough, but, you know, got some luminosity to it. And, you know, these tend to be, yeah, it could be trees up to about, I don't know, well, there you go, 20, 30 feet tall. Real stunner, though. I love this guy. One of my favorites by far. And there's those flowers. These are basically, they lost their juice, but still gonna. Oh, look, there's the fruits. Anyway, like I said, Maxwellia lepidota, member of the Malvaceae, the mallow family, hollyhock hibiscus family, chocolate, all that shit, you know. Looking real good on the ultramathics. Where there you got another Cunonia. There you go, there's a close-up of some fresh flowers as well as fresh foliage. You can see this leaf just came out. Look at that texture. You can almost feel it through the screen, can't you? Malvaceous flowers, 5 petals. Look at all those little anthers just at the base of that ovary right there. Oh, what a lovely plant. And you see this all over. It's all over the damn ultramafics. You know, at the lowlands. I've never seen it too high, but I see it in the lowlands a lot. Maxwellia lepidota. And here we go, one of only 2 native Acacia species endemic to the island of New Caledonia. This is Acacia spirorbis. Remember, those things you're looking at technically aren't leaves, they're phyllodes. They're just photosynthetic petioles. You get up close, look at them, you can see. Those aren't leaves, you see that? They're not leaves. You see there's no cross venation? Anyway, most of the acacias, actually a lot of, I don't know if most, but a lot of the goddamn species in the genus Acacia do this. You know, center of diversity for Acacia, for that genus, is of course Australia. But yeah, like I said, they got juvenile leaves that look different. They look like the typical pinnate, legume family thing going on. And then they get those phyllodes once they get older, once they mature. You can see right there. Nice tree. I'll find you some fruits over there too. The fruits look kind of distinct as well. Okay, there's the fruits. You can see it's a legume, but it's a little bit more than it too. It splits open. Okay, typical legume, but they look kind of weird. Look like a dirty donut. You know? Could you say that? Could you say it looks like a dirty? You know, I really need to just go home and go to bed. This fucking hiking through the hot, humid jungle shit is not working for me anymore. I need a break. Been doing it the last 3 or 4 days. Oh, there's a real nice one. Who doesn't love a legume, huh? Here you go, a couple more dirty donuts for you. You can see them, those legumes. Dirty donuts and a phyllodes. So look, there's a nice lomandra right there. How about that? It's a big one. And then over here we got another Grevillea species. There's the flower right there. Proteaceae, of course. But look at the undersides of that foliage. Look almost as gorgeous as the flower. You know, quite stunning. Could you say that? Huh? Would you make fun of me if I use words like stunning? Huh? Have I been hanging out around the French too long? Okay, forgive me. Alphatonia in the background. Rhamnaceae. But these Grevilleas, though, geez, okay, you see these already got pollinated. See, the fruits are maturing. Those little green beads, those mature into the fruits. You know, I guess it's technically a follicle and it splits open. But really, just look at it again. Rusty Fuzz. Rusty Fuzz is back. It's kind of a horrible porn name, huh? Anyway, looking over at that slope where I just was over there across the valley, I'm much happier to be out here on the sun-exposed open maquis. You know, back on the ultramafics, where it does feel like home. Those heavy, iron-rich soils, if you can call them that. Anyway, I'm not much of a dark understory guy. I'm more of a sun-exposed and low-growing guy. I don't like the whole corn maze of a dark, humid, hot rainforest. Did feel like I was going to pass out back there. Glad I didn't. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you learned a couple things. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Oh, look, there's a nice Dacridium ericarioides over there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed yourself, and maybe you learned a thing or two. And I'll catch you next time, I guess. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Go fuck yourself. Bye.